This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. Well, Donald Trump and several of his cabinet secretaries think they are some sort of twisted and entitled American aristocracy. These same fiscally responsible men were handpicked by Donny Boy in a bid to deliver on his promise to drain the swamp. Let's talk a little bit about this jet-setter trio here. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin, EPA Administrator Scott Pruitt, and Health and Human Services Secretary Tom Price. First, Tom Price, who has very, very strong opinions about the use of private jets by government officials, as you can see from this tweet when he was a congressman. Or when he said this about the need to spend taxpayer dollars wisely.
The American people need to know that their tax dollars are being spent wisely.
Ugh. Well, they are no different than their king, Donald Trump, His Royal Highness of hypocrisy. Because Secretary Price tweets and says all of that, and then racks up an over $300,000 bill on private jet charters, when in almost all cases, there was zero need to do so. Let's take a look at one of many of these trips which is being talked about right now. A recent trip from Washington, D.C. to Nashville. Politico reports that there were at least 4 regular, direct, non-stop commercial flights that run that route on a regular basis for as little as $200. But Tom, Congress doesn't need to have private jets Price, chartered a private jet at taxpayer expense for $17,760. That's $200 versus $17,760. Come on. What the hell happened to this guy?
The American people need to know that their tax dollars are being spent wisely.
Again, Next is EPA Administrator Scott Pruitt, who is stiffing the American people with the bill as he flies home to Oklahoma for weekend after weekend after weekend. Hey, Scotty, it isn't the taxpayer's responsibility to cart you home every weekend, buddy. If Washington and being there on the weekends is such a drag, you shouldn't have taken the job. And finally, Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin and his lovely Instagram bride, Louise Linton. This goof is personally worth hundreds of millions of dollars and is flying at taxpayer expense on government jets to watch the recent solar eclipse. And even requested the use of a government jet to take him and Louise on their honeymoon all over Europe. He only withdrew the request after he was told it would look bad. Not because it costs up to an estimated $25,000 an hour to operate these Air Force aircrafts. Look, these are only 3 small examples of a rampant problem within this diseased and arrogant administration. It points to a much larger problem of contempt for we the people and a complete disregard for the concept of being good stewards of the American taxpayers' money. We deserve better than this disrespect. These clowns aren't royalty. They are public servants who should be honored to serve in their positions and not be so eager to bilk you and me for every penny they can squeeze from us, all while fighting to dismantle federal budgets, important, vital, critical federal budgets at every turn. Hey everybody, thank you so much for checking out my channel and this video. If you like what I do here and you appreciate it, go ahead and click subscribe. And if you really like it and appreciate what I do and you'd like to join my Patreon family, there's another link there for that. It's not just for the podcast, it's also for YouTube. Thanks a lot.